It was a pretty scary day for Bitcoin yesterday. It broke a key support line that I've been keeping an eye on, and I'm hoping this is a point where it's going to bounce from. It has come back up above it, and so what I'm going to do in this video is share my screen, show you exactly what I'm looking at. I've got my dog Luna with me. She's going to help. And yeah, if you don't know who I am, I'm Harvinder. I've been making Bitcoin updates since 2022. I've been in Bitcoin since 2015. So let's get into it. Right, this blue support line here. It's not my make or break one, but this is the area that I've been calling for a few months now to say, look, if Bitcoin does crash, then this is the area that I'm looking at. And it broke yesterday quite a lot, actually. It went down to like 73, just below 73, like 72 something. But it did rebound quite quickly. And so if we go into the 4 hour, we can see what happened. It was just one little period here where it really just crapped itself. And if you look at alts, didn't actually do too bad. I mean, alts obviously did crash as well, but not as bad as Bitcoin, which is a bit strange because alts haven't really made lower lows compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, went low and it went even lower than before. Now let's have a look at the economy in general. The dollar has been going up, so that's definitely putting on some pressure. I want to have a look at this chart. This is my reverse repos, overnight reverse repurchase agreement. So always got to do this every time I look at this chart, which is annoying. So this did spike up again, but it's come back down again, so that's good. So what we need is this chart to stay on the floor. As long as this chart stays on the floor, then it's a good market to be in. Now stocks, this is what probably caused the panic. It was a red day for stocks where stocks pulled back quite a bit, but then they did recover again. And so we'll see if that momentum continues into today, and then that'll be a good thing. But yeah, looking at the markets, look at us, the UK 100 all-time high. It's very likely it's going to continue. Gold, silver have somewhat recovered. I mean, what would ideally be good for Bitcoin is that, we want precious metals this could be a dead cat bounce. And you see this across all charts where we have a blow off top, comes down, bounces, and then it continues falling. So really what we want is gold and silver to pull back, because people go into precious metals when they're uncertain, when they feel that the economy is uncertain. And there's good reason for that. Gold and silver it's the only currency that stood the test of time. And so it's very unlikely that gold is ever going to be a waste of money. Yeah, you might lose some of your value, but over time it will only ever recover and appreciate. And so if you're an investor, you're looking at gold and silver. I'm just looking at random charts these are charts that I actually do look at to see where we are in the cycle. I'll go over these as well. Let me just quickly explain my point. So yeah, if you're uncertain about the general economy like stocks and Bitcoin, then you might as well just get into something like gold and silver because it's pretty safe. And so we want that money to come out and come back into the risk on assets. And so yeah, these are some of the charts that I look at. I mean, this is the difference between the 10-year and the 2-year yield, and you can see there's patterns. When this drops, there's normally some kind of economic crash. Look over here as well, and even in more recent times. And so while this stays high, that's a good thing. And you can look at these charts and you can just spot the obvious patterns. Like this one as well. We want this chart to... Maybe I'll make a separate video explaining all of these charts and what they actually mean. But yeah, like you can just pinpoint the crashes. COVID, 2008. And so as long as this stays high, the economy's generally speaking in good hands. And this chart as well. This is the high yield index option adjusted spread. As long as this stays low, then yeah, it's okay. And so yeah, going back to the charts, Bitcoin, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not looking good. We are in a downtrend, but I really do hope that we bounce from this area. I did throw out another chart on my Telegram channel, and I was just putting out different areas, and I think it was one of these charts. It might have been this one. I just drew like different key support areas. Let me see if I can find it because it covered some good areas. I think, yeah, this is it. So how low could Bitcoin realistically go? I mean, if we consider my chart here where Bitcoin is unlikely to, fall down to these levels, 50, like high 50s, low 60s, I doubt it. And so with that in mind, like these would be my absolute lows, 65k, if it does get there. And I don't think it will. I think we're at a good spot to bounce from. And it's unlikely it's going to be an immediate bounce. It will probably, take a bit of time. And if you look at previous crashes, like over here, for example, we bled, then we come back up, and it did take a bit of time. And so it really depends on the liquidity. I mean, liquidity is the heartbeat of the system. So I'm not worried. For me, yeah, it's always obvious in hindsight, right? But when you do look at my indicator, it does work. There was a sell signal at 106, and then another buy signal around about 92, and then a sell signal around about the same kind of area. So you wouldn't have lost much. But, you'd be sitting pretty out the market. And I always say in every video, no one knows what's going to happen. You do need some kind of strategy that works. In my strategy, I've been talking about it for years, it does work. I'll quickly reshare my screen and quickly go over it. It just tells you when to buy and sell. Like if you, go all the way back, and even in the last run, you would have bought here, and then you would have sold up here, bought here, sold here, bought here, sold here. And, I've done the math, and maybe I can share my spreadsheet, which, goes through the gains on this and the difference it makes compared to holding, because it does beat holding by about 10x. So you buy here, sell here, buy here, sell here. There is a bit of messing around when the market ranges a little bit, but it just works. And really, it's pretty simple. When the red line is above the green line, you stay in the market. When the red line crosses underneath the green line, like over here, that's when you sell, and then you stay out. So right now, the red line's underneath the green line, so you just stay out in the market. And it literally takes 5 minutes a day, and this is what I teach my private clients. And it works. Like even me, I get it right sometimes, I get it wrong sometimes, but my strategy is always right. And so, I've learned, even me, I sometimes ignore my strategy, and I'm like, what, I think this is going to go up instead, so I've stayed in the market, and it's backfired. And so, yeah, you really want to, like when it comes to trading, you plan the trade and then you trade the plan. That's the key thing. And so, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. And, oh, by the way, I've decided to stop doing shorts. I realized, although I was getting a lot of views on my shorts, no one was subscribing, and it was hurting my long form content, because people would, like my long form content wasn't getting as many views as it used to. So I'm just going to stick to long form content and go live every Friday. And the shorts I'll just leave. But anyway, if you like this kind of stuff, subscribe if you're still watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. And my dog Luna, I know you can't see her properly. She says hello too. Good girl, baby. Okay, bye-bye.